Hi, this is the podcast of OFFNews. I'm Iskra Angelova, and today we are going to have this issue in English because my special guests today are champions, world champion. We have actually two world champions, Guinness records winners, and these are Shahina Waseem and Mike Jack. Shahina is the queen of hot, the hot queen, and Mike is the world champion of hot eating chili.
Yeah.
Pepper thing, right?
Yeah, the world champ of chili eating, League of Fire world champ.
Chili eating, yes, it's a discipline, of course.
Yes.
We don't know it, but you're in Bulgaria. Hi.
Hi.
Very nice to have you. You're in Bulgaria for a championship that's actually the first Bulgarian championship, right?
First time ever, the world title match for the League of Fire is being held in Bulgaria, so it's really exciting.
Yes.
It's been held all over the world, different parts of the world, from America to Prague to Italy, and it's the first time ever that it's happening in Bulgaria, so it's quite exciting to be here.
And describe to us what it will be like. You're hosting it, I heard.
So we're actually, this is a rematch between Mike Jack, who's the current world champion. He's won the belt 3 times, and he's going up against Giancarlo.
The belt.
This is it.
Yeah,
Show you the belt.
It's
He
beauty.
brought it. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, it's a big thing. It's heavy.
It's
Is it
huge.
gold?
Yeah, and rubies and everything.
Yeah.
But it's priceless in its value as like, you know, once you have this belt, you're the world title chili eating champion.
Like
So
a
people,
magician almost,
yeah,
yes.
people absolutely love it, you know, and they sort of try hard to get to that stage where they can battle for it.
And it's a League of Fire. I mean,
Exactly.
that's your league.
Yes, that's right. So League of Fire is like an international organization that just rates people according to how spicy, you know, how many spicy challenges they can handle. It's like a database of recording people doing chili eating competitions all over the world, as well as chili challenges. So before League of Fire came along 5 years ago, before 2019, there was no way of knowing who's doing what, and now there's a huge database and everything goes down in history. So it's pretty cool. But Mike is going to go up against Giancarlo Jack Pepper from Italy, and he's a beast. He is a League of Fire European title holder, as well as the Intercontinental champion.
Oh my God.
He's incredible at what he does as well. So Mike actually did take him on in Prague last October and won. So this is a rematch that's really important now to see who will win, and we're quite excited.
Yeah.
And Mike, are you excited or a little bit scared from the beast?
Oh no, I'm excited. Yeah, it's always exciting to, you know, being up on the stage, lots of people cheering you on, stuff like that. It's a pretty exciting event always.
The thing is, you said after 2019, is there a connection between this lockdown, which made us all stay at home, cook more, eat more, somehow take care of what we're eating, making these special events to actually calm down and be together and warm up as families? And is there this or no?
Well, when we started in 2019, it was before COVID, and it just started to take off. People were really excited, but then obviously COVID hit in 2020, and it stopped the travel around the world, so we couldn't do any
alone at home.
So we kind of started doing these online challenges where people would compete from home. So they would do pepper eating contests that we'd set up. So we'll post out the peppers and they do those, as well as then the challenges took a big they just went up a bit because people were like at home doing these challenges against each other. But it's all like an online thing for a couple of years before we can then travel again after COVID was over. But it just took off because of that. I think COVID helped a lot because people were at home bored and they were just wanting some kind of entertainment.
Right.
So I think it kind of just helped with doing spicy challenges, a bit of something to keep everyone occupied and entertained.
And also it's very healthy, I know. I mean, I've heard that it's good for your immune system, right? Or
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't get sick very often. That's for sure.
Right, it kills everything, right?
Well, there's lots of studies out there that say, capsaicin, the pepper, it just helps us. Like it's boosts our immune system, it boosts your metabolism. It's good for you, And I'm not saying like eat 100 peppers a day, but just like a couple of peppers with your food is brilliant. I think it's
How
good
about
for
if
you.
you have gastritis? Oh, no, it's not good. If you have stomach ache or something, it's in this case not preferable, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. Like if people have fragile stomachs and stuff, then don't eat like super hots. But like there's peppers, obviously medium peppers and mild peppers. They are good for you, even with like stomachs that of people with like soft stomachs can still handle, like jalapenos and things like that. So it's not crazy hot. The peppers we eat for our competitions are on another level. I don't think anybody would want to eat them daily.
And do you by yourself grow peppers, have collection of different sorts or stuff?
I personally don't grow peppers, but obviously I eat them for competitions and all that and spicy challenges and stuff. But I collect hot sauces and things like that. So yeah, from all over the world, and it's quite exciting to do that.
Are you familiar now you've been in Bulgaria for how long now? One day maybe?
One day for here.
Yeah, I just got here yesterday. Yeah.
Right. There is this Bulgarian dish, which is also Turkish, Greek. Lutenica is called in Bulgaria.
Okay.
It's called hot thing, but it's actually not always hot. It's made of peppers and tomatoes, and it's a mash.
Is this like the smoked pepper with the stuffed?
No, it's like you put it on a piece of bread, and it's a mash made of tomatoes and peppers, and sometimes it's hot. Maybe you should get some when you're leaving to bring home.
That sounds delicious.
I got you Bulgarian peppers here, but I didn't think of lutenica, which the name of it means hot. Something very hot.
Ah, fantastic!
And how does one challenge go? Like, what is it like?
Do you want to answer that?
Oh, like with a spicy challenge? I guess it's different depending on the.
Do you eat it with other
challenge.
stuff or just?
Like when it's a challenge, it's usually just the pepper, the challenge product you're doing. You can't drink water, stuff like that, or you can't drink any fluids or eat anything else while you're doing the challenge for sure. It'll kind of like numb it down a little bit. So you kind of want the.
But how did you discover that you have this talent?
Like for me, it was it was a really gradual thing. Like I got into hot sauce like when I was in college, and just started with mild stuff. I wasn't into spicy stuff as a kid. I remember my dad saying stuff like, "Oh, like why do you want to hurt yourself while you're eating?" You'd kind of make fun of people eating spicy things. So we didn't really have it at home. But when I
it's a rebel against the father.
Yeah, I guess so.
The
right?
father figure.
So at college, I tried hot sauce. It just started out really mild. I always say, like, when I started, I'd go to the movie theater and you could get nachos and you could get a little cup of jalapenos.
Yes.
And I couldn't finish the cup. It was too spicy for me. I'd maybe eat half of it and be like, oh, I'm done. It's too hot. But over time, like I would, I liked spicy stuff and would eat hotter and hotter stuff. And over, I guess, like 15 years, by the end of it, I was eating hot sauce made out of the world's hottest peppers, just like people use ketchup. And at that time, one of my friends was like, "Oh, there's people on YouTube who are eating spicy stuff, eating hot peppers. You should give it a try because you're really good with hot sauce." So I just, I started my YouTube channel, Mike Jack Eats Heat. Ate my first, I ate a dried Carolina Reaper pepper, and it was hot, but I did pretty well. And I was like, I think I could eat more. So I just kept eating more and more, and eventually started breaking records and traveling around the world doing competitions and
amazing
stuff like
that.
I never thought when I started that it would get to
this. What did
this.
you study in college?
In college, I took film and television production. Actually,
okay, so you're one of us. So and then are you working on that too, or?
No, I went into that, and I had kind of big dreams. Wanted to be like a director, a screenwriter, stuff like that. And it didn't quite work out that way. So I was like, I'm gonna just got a job and working and stuff like that. I worked in a factory for years and stuff like that. But I actually I left my factory job just over a year ago, and I'm doing this doing pepper stuff full time now. So it's a job. Pretty exciting, yeah.
And what is your past, your education, your life aside from this league?
Oh, I did completely something so different. I did aeronautical engineering at university.
Okay.
And then I got into properties afterwards. So it was, and I started interior designing. So it was like a completely different kind of thing that I did, yeah. And then I just got into...
In UK, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then I so kind of then got into... it was just happened by accident. I ended up going into a chili eating competition because when I was at university, I used to always boast about how I can handle hot food, and I always have like a hot sauce or something with me in my bag. We'd go to restaurants with my friends and I always get it out, and it became a joke, you know. They'd always say, "What sauce have you got with you today?" That kind of thing. And so it kind of went from there, and then my friends just entered me in this competition in Kingston in London, near London, and I ended up winning that. And I didn't actually think anything of it at that time. And this is going back 12 years ago. And at that time, the hottest pepper was like the Trinidad Scorpion. So it wasn't even the Carolina Reaper or anything like that. And at that time, I didn't even understand what hot peppers were. I mean, we were used to supermarket stuff. So Scotch Bonnet is probably the hottest I ever had. So when I went into the competition, I realized there's like this and this and this, you know, hotter peppers. They're like touching 1,000,000 Scoville heat units. So I ended up doing this competition. I didn't do anything for a couple of years, and then I did another one 2 years later, and again I didn't think anything of it. And it was when I did my third one in London, and then the newspapers came and they were like, "Oh, this lady keeps winning these competitions. She's done 3 competitions. She hasn't been defeated." And they started calling me the Chili Queen, and that's how the term got coined, and I started being known around the world as that. And I was thinking, well, if I ended up in the newspaper with 3 competitions, let's see if I can get to 10. And so it kind of went from there. So I'm like, I'll get to 10. And when I got to 20, it was like 20, then 25, then 50. Yeah. So now I'm like, so it's taken 12 years, but I'm at 97 competition wins, and I want to get to 100. And I want to have this legacy no one in the world has done. 100 contests, never been defeated, all over the world, that kind of thing. So
right.
And that's just like motivating.
Isn't it about time to like make a restaurant or a brand or something?
Oh gosh, yeah. It's
brand
funny.
of chili sauce, for example.
Yeah, lots of people say, "When are you bringing your sauce out?" And
right.
So yeah, no, there's lots of little ideas we have, and it'll probably get out eventually, you know. So yeah, I'd love to own a restaurant because I do love to cook and I love to make spicy stuff. So one day it could be that I'll go down that path.
What is your favorite recipe you prepare? Like, is it what is it?
Oh, so I cook. Well, my passion is like food. Like, I love to travel for food all over the world. So we'll go all different places and find like their sort of food, and then I'll come home and recreate it. So for instance, if I go to America, I love shrimp and grits, so when I come home I'll recreate it, and then anywhere, any part of the world I'll go, I'll just discover one dish that I love and I'll come home and create it. But my own sort of cooking comes from my dad. Growing up with him, we were a single parent family, so I'd always watch him cook, and I'd say, "Oh, Dad, give me the recipe." So I'll meticulously write everything down in my little notebook, and I say to my dad, "How do you do it? How do you remember every single recipe? How would you know 1 teaspoon of this, two teaspoons of this?" And he'd say to me, "One day it'd come to you naturally." And I wouldn't believe him. I was like 13 years old. I was very young. And then he actually made sense, because by the time I was 18 or 19, I was cooking food and I'd never measure anything. I have the pot in front of me, I have the spices underneath, I just pour everything and it just works, you know. So it's kind of taken from that level to now I can cook. Like when I was at university, I was only 18 years old. I was cooking for 50 or 60 people just in my dormitory kitchen, you know. Cool. So it just became a passion, cooking as well. So now I do like...
So it is about time for to open a restaurant. Of course it is.
So one day it will probably be like that, I guess, that I'll have a restaurant maybe. Let's see.
For example, I'm trying to think of Bulgarian dish which might be very, very spicy. Aside from lutenica, which is you bake the peppers, you bake the tomatoes, and then you mix them, and then you put it on a piece of bread, and it's very good for breakfast and for, like, you can use it in different ways, but you don't put it in another dish. It's a dish itself somehow, and it goes in pots like this. But maybe beans we make a little bit with beans with chili. I'm thinking also, of course, the chocolate. It's very popular now. The chocolate with
like
hot
chili.
pepper, chili with hot peppers.
Okay.
Which is cool as well. My husband's name is Piperov, which I told you means hot pepper. My daughter's name is also Alisa Hot Pepper. And from his quintet, because he's a classical musician, there is this guy who collects hot peppers from all over the world. And today he's a fagot player at the National Radio Orchestra. And today he brought for you this very chili, he said, from Mexico and also Bulgarian sort. He raises on his balcony, and this sauce he made himself. And he says if he can do, or we didn't know that Mike is coming. If they can do that, they're kings. Because even he cannot.
Yeah.
So
oh, wow.
yeah, in the end we can, if you want, you can try and say if there is a different, probably there is, you can taste the different taste between the different sorts of peppers. We cannot, because it just burns our senses, but you can.
Up to a certain level with me personally, I find like after I sort of hit like the 1 million mark of any chili, after that any chili they give me just feels the same. The pain just gets harder and harder, and I can't distinguish so much between flavor profiles and things after a certain level in a competition. But if you were to have the pepper on its own, so if I was to have a super hot like a scorpion on its own, then I'll be able to tell the difference.
Scorpion is a sort.
It's a pepper, it's a super hot pepper, so like a Trinidad Scorpion or a Ghost Pepper or Carolina Reaper 7-Pot Primo. If you just have them on their own, you'll be able to taste it and say, oh, the profiles are like this and this. But in a competition, when you're doing it back-to-back, like 10 to 20 peppers or more, after a certain level, it's very difficult to distinguish the flavors. All you feel is fire in your mouth, so it becomes more difficult. So when people say to me, oh, what was the hottest pepper you had in your competition? I was like, well, they were all hot after this round 5. They're all hot.
Yeah, it's very. And how do you know? Or probably you do. I don't. How to grow a hotter pepper? Because sometimes I buy this and it's not hot enough. Sometimes it's very hot. Can you predisposition this in your home pepper growing, so to speak?
Yeah, you can. I don't know a whole lot about it because I don't really grow them. I just eat them, right?
Just eat.
Yeah, but there are ways to make them hotter. I think one thing is people say is you put them under a lot of stress, like if they don't
The egg should be angry.
Yeah, exactly. They get angry and they get hotter, right? So like if you don't like I guess in places where there's a lot of wind, or if it's like they don't get enough water, it's like extreme sunlight, stuff like that. Like if the peppers or the plants are like under a lot of stress, I guess that makes them hotter. That's what I've heard anyway.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. You just stress the peppers out, give them these extreme conditions to deal with, and the pepper in itself gets hotter.
And so if there are viewers of ours who want to participate in one of your competitions, what should they do?
So it just depends. Obviously, we do so many different levels. As League of Fire, we have normal competitions for people who are just amateurs who've never done a competition before. So they can go and take part in a competition, and that would be traditionally about 10 rounds, and it will start off from round number 1 would be like a jalapeno or a very mild pepper, and then it will work your way up to the hottest pepper, but you'd only have one pepper around. Maybe midway would be like a Scotch bonnet, and then by round 8 or 9 you're doing a Ghost Pepper and a Scorpion, then maybe a Reaper or a 7-Pot Primo, and then that's it, and the last person standing wins. But then you have the extreme competitions, which is what Mike does, and a lot of people around the world will do our road matches or European title or Oceania title, and that's like 4 or 5 peppers, and we start from like about 1 million, Scoville heat units from round 1 kind of thing, so it's much harder, and for that you have to work your way to the top. But our amateur comps, anyone can come and do.
So where do they apply?
They happen all over. They happen all over the world. Here in Bulgaria, we're doing actually in Sofia Chilli Fest this weekend. On the Sunday, we have a road match, the Sofia title match on the Sunday. Saturday is the world title match between Mike and Giancarlo. Now that's a different level of competition. They're gonna have maybe 40 to 50 super hot peppers, and from round 1 they're gonna have 1 million plus. So it's going to be killer. And there's no relief in between. They can't have any other food. They can't have water. They can't have milk, anything. It's just pepper after pepper for half an hour to 45 minutes. So it's going to hurt. But the Sofia Belt match on Sunday is a little bit more watered down. So it's still going to be hard, but a bit sort of milder than the competition.
And is the winner getting some sort of a belt?
Oh,
Small
yeah.
belt.
So it's a bit similar to this. It's a blue belt. So it's a little bit smaller, but they get to keep it. It says Sofia Champion 2024, and they'll win it, and they'll forever be able to keep it as a trophy. We've actually got 2 Hungarians who've won previous belts all over, one in Berlin, one in Windsor, one in Budapest, and they're flying in specially to take part on the Sunday at the Sofia Chilli Fest. So that's pretty cool.
They'll probably sell also, recently I've noticed to one Lutenica Fest, as I told you, Lutenica is the Bulgarian thing. They made jam out of peppers.
Oh,
so sweet and hot, which is also cool.
Yeah.
You can get this one from Bulgaria too if you haven't had one before.
I like chili jams.
I'd say too, just to add to what Shahina's saying, if people are really just starting out in the spicy game, a good place to go is leagueoffire.com.
Okay.
And you can start out. There's like the kind of world ranking system, so you can, if you go and do one of the challenges that's on the website, you can be on that board. You know what I mean? So you can see kind of like where you rank depending on what challenges you do and what you can submit to the website and stuff like that. So it's really neat as well.
Cool. So I'm sorry, I know you have to go. And, I want to talk to you because it's very interesting. But now,
There you go.
Oh, this is interesting.
look, do you need another
what should we try
fork?
there?
Please try.
Should we try the bitter sauce with the bread?
Yes, this is the hottest thing.
Okay.
But also the peppers, that some of them are Mexican. I think the long ones are Mexican, and the more round ones are Bulgarian sort. You can
Maybe
put
if I
it
pour
on the
it-
bread if you want, on a piece of.
Like, pour a little bit on there. So this sauce
there
is
we go.
made by your friend?
Yes, and he said it's killing.
It is killing.
You say you try. You say.
Oh, that smells good.
Let's see.
Smells fresh.
Oh yeah, it does smell really
Smells
good.
really savory as well. I like savory sauces. Yeah. You gonna try some?
No, come on. While you were trying,
Well,
I'll tell you a
cheers,
funny
Mike.
story.
Yeah, for
Here we
sure.
go.
Cheers. We're
There you
watching
go.
Hey,
very
All right.
carefully.
Cheers.
Oh wow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Evgeny
Yeah.
Tonev is his
It's
name.
It's a bit spicy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's it's a pretty hot sauce. It'll nothing with your friend or whatever. I've had hotter sauces. It's a really good tasting sauce though.
Okay.
It's really
Do you
good.
want to try one of the peppers? Maybe the Bulgarian ones? I don't know, like the yellow
The
ones?
yellow
I'll
and the
try one.
Bulgarian?
I
Yeah.
think, yes.
These ones are?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a really tasty sauce, by the way.
Good.
It's not crazy hot, but I can tell why he would think it's really hot. I think for normal people that'd be quite hot. Delicious. Oh wow.
Oh, it's like,
Yeah, it's a hot pepper. I don't think it's I wouldn't classify it as like a super hot pepper, but
he said it's okay.
for most people it's going to be pretty
Yeah, that would
pretty
hurt
hot.
most
Yeah,
people.
yeah, most people it's going to be.
Do you want to try the pickled ones? Or I can give them to you as a present.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Because they're not that hot, I'm sure.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they sell them in the commercial
Yeah.
world, and then maybe the long red one also, the last one.
You want to try it? The long red one? This one. Is that Bulgarian as well? Or,
I think this is
or the
Mexican.
one? You want to try it?
I'm pretty good with where we're at, but
Okay, I'll try it.
You try it then.
So this,
Thank you.
wow, it's pretty soft. Okay, I might not have the whole, but it's very pretty.
Not the whole
actually.
one, of
Yeah.
course. But,
Yeah.
the small one you take then, if you want to keep
yeah,
those.
so this looks like a Thai bird's eye to me, which I quite like. I think I love these peppers. Okay, I mean. That's so sweet, but really hot.
Okay.
Delicious, really nice.
They're
really
different.
Nice.
All of them are different.
Yeah.
Amazing. You
Really
can
nice.
taste it.
Really lovely pepper, yeah. It's got this sweetness, but a bite to it. Really great.
Amazing.
I think those ones kind of hit you right away.
Yeah.
The one I just had, the Bulgarian one, it really built. Like
it building?
it's a lot hotter now than when I
Building,
first bit into it for sure. So
It's really interesting with peppers because sometimes you'll eat a pepper and straight away you cannot hide it. The pain's there and everything, immediate. Other times you'll eat a pepper and it takes a couple of minutes for it to really hit you hard. So you never know what's coming until after a couple of minutes of having had a pepper, sometimes hard to know.
It's a separate type of people who can eat that hot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this story. A very good friend of mine who is an actress, and she eats peppers like this.
Oh, wow.
And one morning I'm walking towards the sea in one small village, the Bulgarian seaside, an old one, Suzopu it's called. And I see her on one coffee table drinking her cappuccino and eating like these peppers, and I'm like, hi, what are you doing here, what's going on? And she said, I fell in love. So this is how she was celebrating, and like early morning cappuccino, well, dish of hot peppers, she's watching the sea
way.
and she's eating them like this.
I don't think we never do that to
Yeah.
celebrate. Like, I just don't think I would do it for enjoyment, like having killer peppers. Like, oh, this is fun. I'd do it for a competition or something.
yeah,
But
maybe some spicy food, but I don't think I would go to full on
with your
peppers just
cappuccino.
for fun, that kind of thing. But
that's
But
so interesting.
it's very interesting what you're doing, and I make sure if you haven't been to such a thing, to go to this festival, Sofia Chili Fest, which will go in the village of Lozen at the Ferma Chili Hills, and it will be on the 12th or 13th of October from 9 to like.
Oh yeah, till late, about 8, I think.
Oh, the whole
8
day.
or 9. So it's a whole day.
So-
it's a family event. So just bring the whole family. It's not just for adults. There's entertainment for kids. There's music. There's going to be milder, spicy challenges as well. So if anyone who wants to see how well they do in these things in League of Fire, they can come and do the challenges. So we've got like a set timetable throughout the day, so there's going to be entertainment, and they can come and take part and see how well they do, and then they can register with the League of Fire, get their own card and all sorts of things. There's obviously the main event is the world title that everyone's been waiting for between Mike and Giancarlo, who's flying in right now. So we're going to pick him up from the airport after this. So that's the main event tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So a lot of people are going to arrive about 5, 6 to make sure they get like the front row seats. And then on the Sunday, we've got, again, a whole timetable. There's going to be talks on how to make hot sauce, how to make spicy dishes, as well as challenges on the stage. And then we've got the Sofia belt match happening at 7 o'clock, where we've got Hungarian champions and Slovenia champions coming in to take part. So the whole event is going to be amazing. It's packed full of entertainment for everybody, for the whole family.
Thank you very much for coming to Off News, and good luck.
Thank you so
with
much.
Giancarlo.
yeah, thanks for having us.
And I remember there is this poem by Jacques Prévert, this French poet, which I loved when I was younger, which is one day you, the name was One Day You Will Come to My Room, and the guy is sitting there dreaming about this girl, and there are the room is empty and white and hot, and there are hot peppers hanging on the wall, dry hot peppers. So this is the topic today of News, the podcast. I'm Iskra Angelova, and my guests today were the champions of hot eating in the world. Bye-bye.